Battletech design quirks. In this vlog, we're going to explore the idea of quirks. What are they in Battletech, and how can they impact the gameplay, the tactica, or enhance the narrative? So there's this idea in Battletech, as you read through the various technical manuals for the mechs, you begin to see that very well-engineered, functional machines, but often at various points to make something work, there had to be some design considerations. You're sitting there piloting your grasshopper, and there's a giant LRM 5-pack like right there on the side of your head. Making everything fit leads to design quirks, or often this idea of a mech with jump capability, routing the jump jets through the arms or something like that, as opposed to the rear torso or the legs to make the fusion engine work, because we had to use this, we had to do that. Different ideas with different mechs. And we see this manifested in Battletech through quirks. Now, the idea behind quirks is, like everything in Battletech, it is completely and totally optional. You've got the core rules, mech versus mech. You've got the operations manuals. You've got the technical ops that layer on more and more. So you can play a game of Battletech and have mechs and infantry and naval units and artillery and air support while a battle in space over the planet takes place. I mean, you can do that. Or you can have mechs versus mechs, or any combination. Think of design quirks layered over the mechs just like that. You can choose to utilize them. They don't increase battle value. They don't really add that much to the game, in that these design quirks are so overpowered. Often, it feels like you're playing GURPS, right? Often it's just that. It's a quirk. It's something that the mech can't do efficiently, or needs to keep in mind, or see what happens. Two examples off the top of my head that I know are mechs that I regularly play. You'll have mechs that the ejection system is very cramped. The piloting area is very, very cramped. So in order to eject, you might have to make a pilot check to see if you survive. Does that really matter in the game if it's a generic mech warrior one-off? No. But if you're playing from a more campaign perspective, or maybe tying in some Battletech RPG, you've got some stats. You've got some piloting and gunnery invested into this mech warrior. It's time to eject. You might not eject, right, based on the design of the mech. Well, ditch the mech and get another one. It might be a great mech. It might be your only mech. Mechs are very, very valuable. Another example is the fearsome quirk, the Banshee. Regularly playing that, it gives you a little bit of an advantage on certain checks. Now, is that going to happen? Is that going to win you the game? Is it going to come down to some dice rolls? It might, but in my experience of Battletech, I generally, personally, don't usually play with quirks. They're there, but I find it kind of slows down the game a little bit. And if you're going to remember one, you got to remember them all, or do the best that you can. But it is a rule. It is an option. It is out there. And my fellow mech warriors, mech commanders, and mech techs, what do you think of incorporating design quirks, taking them from the tech manual and playing them, manifesting them on the tabletop?